Are you saying you faked with me?
Yeah.
Wrong. Now you're single.
What do you know about sexual relations?
Is it true that if you don't use it, you lose it?
I'm a little worried about being a slut.
You're listening to the Come With Us podcast, talking the good, the kinky, and the ugly. Here are your hosts, Beth, Aaron, and Tina.
Hello, 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 all you sexy holes and poles. I'm Beth Darling, here with Tina and Aaron with Welcome to Come With Us podcast. We've got everything that you want to know about love, sex, and relationships. We know that sexy stuff matters just as much as all the lovey-dovey stuff, and we want to make sure you get yours, just like we want to get ours. Welcome today, as we're going to talk about how to make sexy spooky or spooky sexy, one way or the other. This is going to be a Halloween that we hope is going to float your boat, light you up, I don't know, and fill you with something good, not just candy. Tina, Aaron, you guys don't even like candy as much as I do, but so I don't know if you're going to eat some lots of candy and have that melty, drippy stuff going down your lips, all the good stuff, and whether it's going to be sugar or salty.
No, I'm a child. I'm not a child. I can eat candy without making a mess.
Oh, it's so much more fun when you make a mess.
No, it's
not. Yes, especially on Halloween. Yes. All right, so
agree to disagree on that one.
Okay, well, that's true. Well,
I
and a
definitely
woman's
think-
taste is not, if you got stuff dripping down your face, it's probably not even going to be salty, right? I think women usually taste sweeter, I think.
Typically, yeah.
I don't know.
I don't have much experience, but not as much as Aaron, at least.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's a good question. So how would you describe? Yeah. What do women taste like?
I mean, I've only had the one apple that I picked off the tree. But I'm trying to think of an actual descriptive word, a taste descriptive word, because like the one I want to use is like heavenly, but I don't know how that translates to what you can make your taste buds feel like, or like what can I put a plate of in front of you that make you go, oh, okay, it's like I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. And Tina, you've tasted your own, right? I mean, you've kissed a guy after they've gone down or something. I know I have, but I kind of actually now I don't have a good description for what I taste like either. That's weird.
It's like a slightly, but not in a bad way, but kind of like sometimes a little salty, like, I don't know, bodily fluid tasting. It's like, there isn't anything really there. I mean, unless I think like, like you have like something going on down there, then it's probably like more like, but like generally, yeah. I just think it's like very like nothing almost, like, like I get the sweetness, it's like a humanly bodily aroma.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's unique. All right. Maybe instead of candles, we should have a bar, a little, an edible.
Gwyneth Paltrow has that candle. That's like, it's what my orgasm smells like, which to be fair, may be a closer, I don't know. Like, I don't know.
Again, I don't know how, I want to know how they made that, because I know it's not, I know it's bullshit. I know that they just took a bunch of scents and they're like, hey, does this smell good? Yeah, sure. All right, let's slap a fucking thing on there.
Oh, I doubt that. I bet they did.
I think they did a good amount of research on that.
I call bullshit on all that stuff that she's pushing. She's so full of it.
And it's $75 for a candle, but
exactly. You know what? If I'm wrong, Gwyneth Paltrow, come on here and tell me I'm wrong. But you are that is such bullshit. Fucking gold-plated vibrators or whatever. Get the fuck out of here. You didn't make enough money? Oh, wait, you were shitty with your millions of dollars you made from movies? That's not my problem.
All right, let's not. Aaron has got some aggression pent up.
God, no, that's the dumbest thing. That's the dumbest way to, like, people who are falling for that and buying it, like, you don't deserve your money. A fool and his money are soon parted. Yeah, if you're buying that shit, you are the fool.
Wow. I don't know.
I'm too cheap for that. Like, again, we've gone over my frugalness.
Yeah.
Like,
but anyways, let's get back to topic.
Yeah, let's go back to Halloween.
Anyways,
okay.
Halloween, yes.
But maybe if you're gonna splurge on Halloween decorations, maybe spending $75 on a candle that smells like an orgasm is better than a candle that smells like pumpkin. I don't
I
know.
would agree
Maybe
with
it's
that.
worth the.
It depends on what
So-
turns you on.
It depends, right? I don't know.
Actually, I read
Yeah.
somewhere
We'll have to see.
pumpkin apparently is like increases like testosterone in men or something like that, like a little bit. So, you know,
Okay,
may
well,
not be so far off.
I don't know. That would be good on Thanksgiving to since tryptophan, which is in turkey, makes us sleep. But okay, anyway, all right, that's the next holiday. But let's go back to Halloween. So, all right, what can people do to make Halloween not just about the kids, but to make it a grown-up holiday, to make it sexy, spicy, spooky, all of the above? I don't know. What are you thinking?
You start with the dressing up for sure. The
Okay.
costumes. You know, there's this article that we've been looking at by Bustle that says dressing up for Halloween. So this was I think an OK Cupid poll they did a couple years ago. Dressing up for Halloween means you're probably into dressing up for sex. So 19% of more people who dress up for Halloween are 19% more likely to be open to the idea of dressing up for sex, like in role play. So
That makes sense to me, don't you think? Like,
yeah,
if you're a little bit more just into having fun and
I mean, you don't take yourself too
Fun.
seriously. That's the whole point of Halloween, is that
yeah,
those who dress up in costume who are in a fun costume, not just a lame, like, every day, like, oh, I pulled this stuff out of my closet and I threw it together, and like, hey, I'm blah. Like, I could go on to examples, but if you're somebody who actually like goes out and either finds a costume or is creative with a costume that like you drew up at your house, kind of thing. Like, I always have, I'm pretty sure I said this last year, like white t-shirt, bomber jacket, aviator sunglasses. Cool, I'm Maverick. Done. And it actually is hilarious because now it's resurgent again. So it's not the same costume I've been wearing since I was 15. I'm now I guess current with the kids.
Well, you need to have the mustache for that one this year for sure.
Yeah, no, I'm not doing it this year.
okay, but wait,
I'm not going as Maverick this year, so.
But are you saying that if somebody just pulls together what they have, like you, that's not?
No, but
they're
like,
more inclined to be sexy?
but somebody who goes like there'll be somebody who has dress clothes who probably doesn't dress up every single day to go to the office. They like probably have a more casual work environment. If there's somebody who goes and puts on like slacks, a button up, and a jacket and goes, I'm an accountant, like that's not creative. Like, really? That's just dumb. Or and what makes me think of it is in Parks and Recreation, one of the characters who's gay shows up in a button down and khakis, and they're like, what are you supposed to be? He's like, I'm a straight guy. And then literally a straight guy walks in and he's wearing the exact same thing because he just got off work. And he was like, see? Like, that's not creative. That's not fun. The whole point is not taking yourself too seriously, that you can go out and like, if dress up as the fucking Mad Hatter if you want, or dress up as, whatever, a cop or Maverick, or
well, I think that there's definitely been this like huge like sexification of Halloween, especially with women. Like,
duh.
I like
That's
that.
what makes it worth it.
Sexification.
Are, like-
Sexification. I like that, Tina.
I mean, honestly, I think it's just lingerie these days for most girls, like in some form, like in the Mean Girls quote. But like, it's become pretty risque, which is fine,
Yeah,
but
it's become
I
the
think-
excuse, right?
I think Erin has a great point. Like this year, so there's like parties and stuff, so you get like multiple options to like dress up. I want to do one like funny one that's like not focused on like sexy, but something funny and unique, and then something just like sexy and probably like general, so
But yeah, I mean, going back to it, like, yeah, it makes sense that if you're willing to dress up on a day that everybody else is dressed up, and you're willing to not take yourself seriously, and oh well, yeah, I look kind of goofy, this is not my everyday attire, blah blah blah. Of course, when you get behind closed doors with your partner, you're more willing to dress up as a sexy nurse or a sexy pilot or whatever, or
Halloween
women fantasize about or whatever
is a perfect night if you want to explore like role playing. Like, perfect, right?
Right.
You're already in the costume. You don't have to use that as the like. excuse to dress up. You use Halloween, and then
Yeah. Plus, you don't have to keep it behind closed doors because
Yeah.
on Halloween or Halloween parties and stuff,
Yeah.
you do have the opportunity to role play in public and have other people go along with it
Right.
Yeah.
and foster it, which I think is kind of cool. And people should make use of that. I think it's a great
Right.
opportunity. So,
Totally.
Well, and it's
So-
not only that, like, to me, the whole thing, like, I mean, we've talked about this, like, we're just mentioning this. We're talking right now for people to listen to. Like, we're like on, like, you have to be able to think on your feet and talk and get the sentence out while you're still brewing the next one up. Doing that, and like, and trust me, this is even from me. When you're put on the spot in like a sexy role play thing, there's a lot of times where your brain goes, okay, there's too much blood in my dick. There's not enough blood in my brain to think about this. Well, going out there, if you're not the person who is good to just randomly talk and experience a character and become that person, cool. Going out dressed as somebody and doing it on Halloween and having conversations as this character is going to put you through enough loops and get you knocked off your feet enough where you can kind of learn to recover and you get better at your improv skills, I guess is the way to put it. And then just eventually you swap out the, oh yeah, I do this blah, blah, blah for a living. And this is where I live. And this is where I grew up, for sexual innuendo and dirty talk.
Yeah. But I mean,
Okay.
I think it's a good point, maybe perhaps if you're, more willing to be creative on Halloween, then you probably are maybe more willing to be creative in the bedroom. So,
yeah, it's funny because I've gone to kinky Halloween parties, and it's really funny to me that people will be way more covered up at those parties than they are at a regular kinky party. Like, so for Halloween, again, people go sort of maybe an opposite of where they were. So when you're used to going to parties wearing very, very little, then
True.
suddenly you put on a costume, you're covering stuff up, and it's pretty funny actually. So,
But that's
you know.
probably another good way. Like, there are tons of adult Halloween themed, like, parties, or if you have your
Yeah, like,
local
how do you go
swingers
about finding those
club,
parties there, Beth? Because I've never even heard of one. Like, not that I haven't heard that they happen, but I don't even know where the hell I would start looking.
Well, the whole story, when I found kink, like I heard about parties in some other city and I was like, oh my God, I want to go to this other city to go experience parties. And I don't know how many months it took me to go light bulb, like, oh my God, if there are parties in other cities, there are probably parties in Houston.
Mhm.
I was like, I couldn't believe it had never crossed my mind.
Yeah, but what do? Do you look in
there
the
are
yellow
parties
pages?
everywhere.
Do you just like throw it out on
No.
Facebook and like, hey,
No.
who's having a...
It's you have to look more carefully. You've got to kind of know. So if you start, well, first of all, you can always start at swingers clubs, and you can look up different swinger clubs. You can look up different swinger lifestyle, dating apps and whatever, and find parties like that. But then if you're really into kink, then you can. I kind of like I hate to say out loud, there are different channels, there are different sort of slightly underground groups and everything that people will use for kinky stuff. So if you just do a Google search for
Even Reddit. Reddit is
BDSM
like,
parties near me or something, yeah, you'll find some different opportunities and
It's
stuff.
so weird that, like, and I'm probably, I've said this before, but like, when I was a kid, the internet was just becoming a thing. Like, it wasn't even a thing when I was a young kid. And then my like 9-10 years old, it became something. And the rule always was for everybody, children, adults, teens, seniors, whatever. You don't meet somebody you met on the internet. You don't ever show up in person to, meet a person you met on the internet. And now literally it's like, hey, go on the internet and find a group full of strangers who are going to have a party where you can go bang them all like in succession.
Right. No. Okay. So let's be clear though. The way that it kind of works is you can go online, you can find different groups, and they should have somebody that you can email. And then they'll have
they vet you. I'm
they
sure
have
they
things
vet
like
you.
right, munches, which is kind of a meeting/lunch. And those are fully clothed, those are in public places.
You know what
And
Munches
that-
reminds me of? Like
Yes,
the name. I was like, is that just a party where everyone's just eating
women, right?
Yeah.
I had the same thought. I know it seems so strange to me. So
That's
I know
exactly where I
took me
thought
a
it was
bit, but
going.
yeah,
Not a
no,
bad
it's a
idea.
whole, again, people use the same term over and over. But so that's what I found a group in Houston, and they had a meeting, and I messaged and a woman wrote back to me, or she acted like, right? And so, and I was like, it's a public place. If she's not, and she said, I'll be there, look for me, ask for me. I was like, okay, if I don't like it, then I'll get in my car and leave and stuff. So, but it can be scary and stuff.
I mean,
but
you
do it
can
with a
go
friend if
online
you want to.
onto like Tinder and find like four girls can find
Well,
like
I
four
know.
different dudes to fucking.
That's the fucking weird thing about, like, we
Yeah.
went from the internet being like hey, it's a cool, like, not fantasy world, but it's a world where you don't give out too much of your personal information. You don't, get too involved. Like, oh, hey, I'm chatting with some guy from New Zealand. Okay, do you know it's a guy from New Zealand, or is it a truck driver who's sitting at the corner store 2 blocks up? You don't know. And it was you don't ever meet a person that you've never actually met and just trust that their internet personality is them. And now it's literally, I could download probably 50 apps on my phone right now that would put me face to face with another human being within an hour.
Yeah. So be careful about it. But anyway, so these things are out there. But swingers clubs, I think, are a really easy way to do, because they are, again, public places, etc. And you can go check them out. And there are, again, different quality, different, socioeconomic, different settings, and more luxurious and more basic. But anyway.
Well, speaking of kink, I guess, and Halloween.
Yeah.
The same article says that people who are fans of scary movies are 15% more likely to enjoy pain during sex, which is interesting.
Oh, that is interesting.
And pain is a different point of view, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a threshold for some people. Like,
well, for everybody.
It's
a
but
question
like
of sensation.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I guess.
I hate scary movies generally.
Yeah, I don't like jump scares.
I really don't like them. But
Me too.
I'm definitely into some pain during sex. So
I
obviously not.
Yeah, you and I are aligning on the same, like, spectrum of that. Like, I don't like jump scares. I don't like
but adrenaline, I do know this. Adrenaline is an aphrodisiac.
Right.
Well, yeah.
And that's what I'm thinking, that's what I think scary movies, I think that's what they're talking about, is that level of excitement, that thrill, the unexpectedness.
Mm-hmm. I get the idea of I like a good roller coaster, bungee jump, something, something like that. But scary movies, what I don't like, it's not the jumping that I don't like. I don't like gore. Like I am not a blood. I don't like things with like a lot of like real, like really realistic. Like I can do Kill Bill, or something. But,
I was gonna say that's like any Quentin Tarantino film is gonna be one of the most gory films you'll ever see.
It's so
I can't watch any of them.
It's like, but I don't like the gore of horror movies. It's too.
See, that part doesn't bother. It's the jump scare part that I
can do.
But
I don't care about. Like that's why I don't do haunted houses too. Is because if somebody jumps up out of nowhere, my reflexes are swing.
Yeah.
Honestly, not a bad sexy date idea though. If adrenaline is an aphrodisiac, though,
right?
Go to a haunted
and
house.
I think that's what I was gonna say. Is you might kind of play with that with people and find out what sort of level of adrenaline they like, and that adrenaline is I think, gonna amp up your sex drive and stuff.
Well, I've got your new $1 million idea there with all of your kinky friends. Make a sexy haunted house. Oh, so like everybody, instead of signing I agree to be like whatever scared, I agree to be scared and groped. So like when the dude jumps out of nowhere as a mummy, he also like fondles your bits and everything before you keep going on to the next one.
Yeah, that would violate some consent things, I think.
No, but that's why I just said you have them sign the consent form.
I know, but then they don't know exactly what it is. But maybe what it is that instead of you being surprised and scared, what if you're surprised by sexy? That would be kind of cool.
That sounds like it would violate some consent shit too.
I mean, you could definitely do an adult-themed haunted house. Like that is something that is
the tour through the brothel, and or who's going to be orgasming, I don't know, as you walk in, and I don't know. Yeah, that would be fun.
But for real, I think that, and also like when you're in a haunted house and you're with someone else, like you want to grab onto them, you want to like, you want to hide behind them, like you want to, like definitely there's some like connection there and adrenaline. I like that. I think that's not a bad.
Yeah.
bad
And then maybe if you're just staying home, you do, if it's not, even if you're not into scary movies, maybe you do exciting movies that are
Mhm.
more action packed. Cause again, those are going to get your adrenaline going and stuff and kickstart the breathlessness and the touching and things like that. So yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Yeah. So
Apparently, somebody was ahead of me on this because there was, at least in 2017, some type of sexy adult haunted house thing in New York, which of course it makes sense, fucking New York. But this article is from
Aw.
2017, so I don't know if it's still in business. Probably not, but interesting.
Wow. Well, that's where I am now. So yeah, if there was, I'd love to go.
I'll
but-
send you the name of this place. You can go try to find it.
Okay, thanks. I appreciate that.
I mean, there definitely has to be some. I mean, I know that like you can find in most cities like an adult way to do Halloween. That I just mentioned before the podcast, we should definitely have more adult trick or treating, but on a
know.
different way. So like most cities have like bars or parties or stuff you can go to that are only for adults. So
Do you think if I gave out like lube packets and
children.
clit arousal gels, no, to the adults that
Oh,
came
okay.
by, like
Oh,
I'm like,
that's
how
I mean, yeah,
quickly would
there's-
they call the police on me though if I tried to hand out those to the adults,
Yeah.
but still.
I mean, I've been in neighborhoods before. Like I've lived in neighborhoods before that like they give out candy to the kids. Like usually the male and female, the husband and wife will set up on the driveway instead of having them come to the door. And the mom gives out, or the wife gives out candy, and then the dude has a case of beer sitting there for all the dads who are taking their kids trick or treating, or their moms who are taking their kids trick or treating. It's like, hey, you want a drink? Like you have to deal with
that's nice.
7 freaking kids running around all hyper eating candy before it hits the bag. Like you have to deal with this. You want a drink that'll help, at least. And down here in Texas, Halloween, it's either 30 degrees outside or it's 95 degrees outside. So either
Right.
way, you're drinking to warm up or you're drinking to cool off. So
All right. So what would I would put in, let's say, like, arousal pills, arousal gels, flavored lubes, condoms, erotic
I mean,
tattoos.
if you want to be big money, then you get those little bullet vibrators and just
yeah.
throw in one of those in each.
Oh my
But
god,
that
that's
ain't
such
cheap.
a good idea.
Wouldn't that be fun?
Oh my gosh, like a Halloween goodie bag.
Mhm. Or at least if you're doing a Halloween party, like do a pinata with these
Mhm.
things.
Oh
And-
yeah, that'd be fun
yeah.
too.
I'm too competitive for pinatas.
Oh, I love pinatas. Well, I'll tell you. So if anybody in Houston, I don't know that I can ship these out, but I don't know. I might be able to ship out some lube samples and stuff. Like I've got a bunch from Joe Lubes and stuff. So maybe if anybody wants to do a Halloween pinata, if they email us, maybe then we can figure out a way. But certainly in Houston, then maybe we'll go or see it or have pictures and I can help supply because I think that'd be fun. Aaron,
Yeah.
tell them where they can email us, will you?
Yeah, it's comewithusconfessions@gmail.com. That's comewithusconfessions@gmail.com. That's where we check the most. I've got that email pulled up right now. So if you want, I guess, lube samples for a sexy pinata, apparently if you're having a sexy Halloween party, because, I mean, we're, 12 days away from Halloween, but everybody will do it the weekend before, which is the 28th, 29th, and 30th. I guess hit us up, comewithusconfessions@gmail.com.
And send us invitations too, in case we're looking for a good Halloween party.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea.
Don't you think?
I mean,
I'm
it sounds
sure
like
what's
fun,
his
but-
name is gonna throw one or know where to go.
Oh,
What's
yeah.
his name?
Holly Hotwife's
Oh, Vince.
Oh,
husband.
Vince,
I'm
Vince.
sure that
Well-
community is throwing
Right.
probably a big
And I'm sure
Halloween.
at Colette's,
Mhm,
our friends
mhm.
John and Jackie Melfi at Colette's Clubs, Swingers Clubs, and they're in New Orleans, Dallas, Austin, Houston. I'm
New
sure-
Orleans would be like the perfect place for sexy Halloween, but any Halloween. But
And yeah. Yeah. I'm guessing that if you go to Colette's, it's going to be sexy and fun no matter where you are. So, but that place is beautiful. Yeah.
So let's get to
Um,
the last little point of this article that you
Yeah.
brought to our attention there, Tina. The number one bullet point with this is women who believe in ghosts like to film themselves having sex.
see, that one, I feel like I was trying to think of the correlation. One, just to let you guys know, there is a word for the sexual attraction to ghosts. It's called spectrophilia. Y'all can
I
look it
love
up.
that.
It's sexual attraction to either ghosts or sexual arousal from images and mirrors, or the alleged phenomenon of sexual encounters between ghosts and humans. So, take it as you will. But technically, you could always be having a threesome if a ghost is involved.
Right. That would be
other
fun.
people.
And I'm sorry, if you haven't watched that the Ghost movie, right, with Patrick Swayze and
Demi
Demi Moore?
Yeah.
That was absolutely one of the hottest scenes where she's doing the pottery with the ghost, and oh wow. So I totally believe in ghosts based on
It wasn't a
that.
ghost, it was another human being.
Well, it was a ghost.
awesome.
It was a ghost.
No, it was not
It
a
was
real ghost.
Shh, we don't need Aaron. We're living in our own
Oh
little
my God.
sexy fantasy
I haven't seen that
here.
movie in like 20 years, and even
Oh,
then
It
I
is
was
actually
like,
a sexy
no,
movie.
that's dumb.
It's a really sexy movie. I love
Well,
it.
what do
I
you
love
think
it.
is the correlation between women who like to be filmed or believe in ghosts and like to film? Are they trying to look for the ghosts on the film?
Oh,
No,
maybe
I don't-
that's interesting. I don't know.
I don't know.
Maybe
That's weird.
again, it's just creative thinking and being willing to think outside the box. I don't know. I don't know.
Probably
Interesting.
you're probably just more of like an open-minded person. You're not
Yeah.
as like narrow, with your like beliefs.
That's what. So there's not a whole lot of research into who's a swinger and who's into BDSM and stuff, right? Because people are still not very comfortable being honest. But they have definitely they think they found a link between sort of artistry, creativity, and frankly higher intelligence for people who are then willing and interested in going outside the typical heteronormative sexuality and stuff. So I think I don't know. That's true. So all right. So yeah, go film yourself, see if a ghost shows up.
Maybe it will.
That's your pickup line on Tinder or whatever all these dating apps they got now are, guys. And hey, do you believe in ghosts? There you go. And you're in.
Woohoo! Right.
And I think my last maybe favorite sexy tip for Halloween is if all else fails, you can just yell boo while you're coming. So,
Yeah. Okay.
Just
That will be fun.
add a little spice into the bedroom, a little spookiness.
Oh, so women can go boo, 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 boo.
Oh my God, that would be so like just or as
awesome.
as he's about to come, like really scare him. Just go right into his face and yell boo.
Wow.
There you go.
Okay.
Y'all have
well,
fun with
gee.
that. Well, let me know how that goes.
I'm thinking that is the perfect answer. So
We'll have an episode in a couple of weeks with Tina with a black eye because the cat she's scared, like has the same jump scare reaction as me, and just getting close and bam out of nowhere.
oh my God, I
Adrenaline.
almost broke a guy's nose because my hips, he was down on me and I jerked and my whole pelvis went straight into his nose. So there was no boo. It was all my hips. But anyway, that was a boo boo. Bad joke.
Wow.
Sorry, I just got corny. I just had to. Anyway. All right. Well, thank you, everyone. I'm so ready for Halloween now. I can't wait to see what y'all dress up as. I hope people will send us pictures. Feel free to share. And yeah, make this a really sexy, spooky, scary, anything that you want, but enjoy the hell out of it. So thanks for joining us for Come With Us podcast. I'm Beth Darling. You can find me at bethdarling.com and my classes. If you're going to have a stay home Halloween or in prep, then why not get good at your oral skills, both giving and receiving? So check those out at bethdarling.com. And thanks again for joining us. We're here with all the bare naked truth about love, sex, and relationships. And of course, you can get more sexy, fun tips and tricks, pricks, anything. Following us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. So don't wait. We can't wait to see y'all offline. Big hugs. Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to the Come With Us podcast. Be sure to follow us on social media at Come With Us Podcast and send in your questions, comments, and confessions to comewithusconfessions@gmail.com. Until next time, keep it fun, flirty, and naughty.